We're recording video. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Tiberius was a heretic. The Malta has clearly been a hotbed of heretical activity. This is Ordo Hereticus jurisdiction, and we will purge every last hole of that accursed ship.
The Morning Stream. What are you gonna do? Charge me with smoking?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TMS. It's the Morning Stream for Tuesday, August 13th, 2019. I'm Scott. He's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Scott. Boy, it feels like it's been forever since we did a show. We missed that last Thursday, and then I took off for a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay. Look,
Yeah,
you
it's
went,
okay.
got your noodles cooked there in Vegas, and you gotta,
Boy, did I! 102, 104.
nice and
It was
hot.
hot.
Yeah,
Nice
it was
and hot out
it was
there.
better here. Weirdly, we had really hot week before, but then leading up to your Vegas trip, leading up to your Vegas trip, it got really hot, and then while you were there, we were like 75 to 80 most days. It was nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about all that. What happened in Vegas? Brian's big birthday bash.
That's right.
We're gonna talk about the weird ass wedding I did yesterday, and
Yes.
some other stuff. We got a big day. We got a big show. We are sad to have been gone so long, but we're happy to be back. It's probably the last of the big summer. Somebody's gone summer.
I think
bit.
so. Well,
You know?
I think so. We'll see. I may have a trip to Hawaii coming up sometime. We'll see.
Whoa. Where'd that come from?
It's a long story, but Tina might need to go down there for work, and I will certainly go with her if that's the case.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah.
Albuquerque, but Hawaii. Yeah, I think I'll go. But
You'll make the time. Sure.
But that might be a fun one to try and do a show from. Although, I guess the time change would be 3 hours earlier than we do here,
Let's see.
or just 2 hours earlier.
Is 3? Is it 3? Or does it
can't
change
remember if
depending on
it's,
the time of year? I don't even know. I think it is 3. 3 sounds right.
Yeah.
That means it'd be. Hold on a second.
6 a.m. in Hawaii when we do the show.
Well, we could do the days you'd be gone. We could do like later here. That's no problem. I could work that out.
right.
And then
We could do that. Or, there's actually nothing wrong with knocking the show out early and then just going and laying on the beach for the whole morning, you
yeah,
know?
that's true. And you get up early anyway. You're one of those guys. So
Exactly.
why not? All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. So I sense
4 hours says could be good. Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it 4 hours? Is
That's
that
what
true?
could be good says.
That may not be good if it's 4 hours. We'll see.
Could not be good. Yes.
You sound slightly tired. I'm guessing it's because of
a little tired.
yeah.
Yeah, a little tired, a little hoarse. Just because it was I don't know, it was a blast of a weekend. So here's kind of the rundown. Here's the skinny. So we went out on Friday morning with of course me and Tina, Mr. and Mrs. Crazy Neighbor, my aunt and uncle, George and Barb, if you've heard me talk about them, of course, and my friend Chris Brown.
The one that
Not-
beat up Rihanna, the one that punched her.
Not the beating up.
not that
Rihanna.
one. Oh, okay. I
No,
always get
no.
confused that he's the one that punched her in the eye. That's
No, he
not the
might-
one.
He might actually have a. There might actually be a restraining order from Vegas with that Chris Brown.
Oh,
There might be one with this Chris Brown now, but
Sure.
anyway, so we all went out there, made our way over to Mandalay Bay. They took total care of us, man. They I did the $20 trick. Have I talked about the $20 trick? When you check into a hotel in Vegas, you stick a folded $20 bill between your license and your credit card, and then as you hand it to them, you ask them, you say, "Do you have any complimentary upgrades available?"
Yeah.
And here's my experience. One of two things will happen.
Okay.
They'll either take the $20 bill and say, "Oh, thank you very much, but no, I don't think we've got anything that'll work for it," and they'll slide it back towards you. Or they'll give you some sort of upgrade. And I've had room upgrades where I've paid for a regular room and gotten upgraded to a suite. I've gotten upgraded at MGM Grand to a suite on the bottom level. So basically, you're two locked doors away from the casino. No elevator, no nothing. You just walk out the door and you're in the casino,
Okay.
which is awesome. So
Yeah.
you can get out really quick.
Sure.
Like get out to a cab really quick instead of having to do the whole dance. I've gotten, upgraded to a strip view when I haven't had a strip view, or we had a wraparound room at the Delano. So it's a really, it almost always works. And if it doesn't, they almost always just give you your $20 back. So it's the first bit of gambling I ever do in Vegas.
Yeah.
Mandalay Bay.
It sounds like
gave
you
me-
win more than the house, by the way, on your little bit of gambling when you get to Vegas. It seems like you
yes,
win.
when you do that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's where you can take something from the house.
Right.
So the deal with Mandalay Bay, they not handed me. I gave him the $20. He said, Mr. Ibbett, thank you. I see it's your birthday. Thank you for the gratuity. What I'd like to give you is $150 in credit to spend at any of our restaurants and bars and things here.
Jeez, that's great.
Oh, okay. I'd like that. Thank you very much. So, basically, once we got checked in, I took everybody out for lunch at the Beachside Cafe. I paid for all their food. I didn't pay for their drinks because that actually would have
That
drained
would have been
me.
way more than
Like,
150 bucks. Yeah, no kidding.
easily. Yeah, exactly. But
Did you tell
So that
them
was a
though?
nice
Did they
deal.
know, or did you go out there going, "Hey, I'm buying everybody lunch. Don't worry about me, you guys. It's on me. Everything but drinks." Hey, no.
I didn't have to because all the one half of everybody in our group, basically all the men, came up with me, and we all checked in with the same guy at the same time because we wanted to try and get rooms together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Actually, I didn't care about getting rooms together, but they wanted to try and get rooms together because
Sure.
it was convenient. And as is the case, it actually did work out fairly well for things.
Sure.
But I think if I would have gone up there solo, I might have gotten a suite. But
Mm.
there was only there weren't suites available on the level everybody else was on, so they gave me this instead. Totally fine with that. I think this actually worked out better.
You make great sacrifices for your friends. That's what we know.
I do.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Right? I do.
You do.
So jump kind of forward here. That was the Friday. Went out to Best Friend Korean Barbecue at Park MGM for dinner that night. It was good. It's, if you've seen the Netflix show Chef Show, which is kind of a continuation of the movie Chef, kind of. It's Roy Choi's restaurant, the guy who's hanging out with Jon Favreau, and so he's got his kogi tacos, his Korean beef tacos. We had some kalbi, we had some banchan, we had whole bunch of, like, a whole table full of really good food.
Sounds fantastic.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Saturday, and I'll kind of skip ahead here to Saturday night. So I've talked about on the show, when people have asked me my favorite restaurant in Vegas or
Yeah.
on Twitter,
Yeah.
I've always said China Poblano.
Yeah.
It's a Jose Andres restaurant in the Cosmopolitan. It's a blending, a fusion of Chinese and Mexican foods, and it's really, really good. You can, first couple times I went there, they had this thing on there called Jose's Way, where they bring you like a 13 to 15 course meal. And a lot of these things are small, like a dumpling here and a little thing of ceviche there. And but you don't leave hungry, you leave stuffed.
Why don't they call it China Poblano and China instead?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because since it's Chinese
To
food and Italian, you'd think they would emphasize the China, but they just say China.
To be edgy, I guess.
I got it.
don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Be edgy.
There's probably some reason, and
We're never gonna
that
know.
we never got the brochure when we when we went there.
All right.
So but they've since taken that off the menu, and it's a bummer, right? So when I called and made the reservation, I said, hey, come in there for my birthday. It's gonna be the Saturday night. Gonna be bringing 7 people with us. And quick question, I noticed you guys don't have the Jose's Way thing on the menu anymore. And she's like, yeah, we took that off, but if that's something you're interested in, let me know and we can offer that to you at the price it was on the menu before. It won't be the same foods, but it'll be what the chefs are doing now that are kind of their signature things. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And she said, oh, and it's your birthday, And then she said, and do you have any other things going on that night? I said, yes, we're going to Absinthe. We have an 8 o'clock show at Absinthe, so we need to be out. She says, okay, then I would plan on 2 hours for dinner. Get here at 5:30. We'll have you out by 7:30, and you'll have plenty of time to get to the show. Great, sounds good. All right, so checked with everybody. 3 of us decided we were going to do the off the menu order, and then everybody else was just going to order stuff on the menu.
Yeah.
We get there, and they seat us, and they confirm the Jose's Way thing. They wish me a happy birthday. They say we're going to take care of you tonight, and the chef even comes out and says, hey, I understand it's your birthday and you're going to be doing the Jose's Way. I want to tell you we've got some really special things that we don't even have on the menu available that we're trying out that we're going to have as part of your meal tonight.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. This is going to be great.
Yeah, as long as it's not like a cat's tail dipped in goo or something, you're gonna be fine.
Dude, if he brought that and said it's really good, then I probably would eat it. But
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I wasn't expecting anything like that, anything that wacky.
Right.
So, but stuff starts taking a little while. They bring us our drinks, and we're kind of waiting. Tina ordered their smaller prefix, which is like a 6 or 7 course prefix, and they brought hers, and a couple of the people that we were with brought their meals. But the 3 of us are kind of waiting for the Jose's Way stuff to start.
Yeah.
And then it starts trickling out. And mind you, we've been at the restaurant maybe for about half an hour, 40 minutes at this point.
Okay. Oh, geez. All right.
And we're like, wow. And we kind of looking at each other like, if they're going to cram, 13 courses into like an hour, we better start it better start happening quickly.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened. Stuff started trickling out. And then as we got closer to the time we had to leave, and like 7:30, we were going to be pushing it because this is at the Cosmopolitan. The Absinthe is at Caesar's Palace, which is 2 hotels down. But 2 hotels down in Vegas is like 12 city blocks anywhere else.
Oh yeah, no, you don't just hop over.
You don't just hop over.
No.
I mean, we knew we were going to be walking because there was no way we were going to be able to get to a cab, go down the strip, and get to where we needed to go, because both of those things required going to the back of the hotels,
Right.
and it just would have been a longer walk that way. So we're like, all right, well, we need to do this, and we need to kind of boogie. But we're getting close to 7:30.
Plus, it's
bring up
Saturday night in Vegas. There's no shortage of human
there's
beings.
and there's no getting down the strip easily in a cab, let alone, I mean, walking is going to be tough enough as it is, but
Yeah.
getting down there in a cab.
Right.
So at about 7:30, they bring out the one of the signature dishes, which is this mole tamale that is, again, not on the menu yet. And we're basically like, oh, this is great. And we're kind of each taking and we're shoving tamale like, oh, it's great. We need our bill. And we're kind of getting a little ticked off because, we told them the time we had, and it's like, well, this is delicious, but we've really got to go. And we've only gotten 6, 7, maybe 8 courses. And again, the first 3 or 4 were very, very small. Like one of them was
Sure.
were heirloom tomatoes with a sauce and a little bit of sprinkled sugar on them, a couple dumplings, a ceviche bowl, etc. And these have been smaller courses because they're leading up.
Yeah.
And so we're like, we've got to go. So I guess just bring us the bill. Kind of disappointed. We let them know that we were disappointed. They took a little bit off the bill. And when I say a little bit, they took $10 off on one of our bills. We had split bills. Everybody else was really happy with their food. So no complaints on the other end of the table, but
Sure.
the 3 of us who got the special deal kind of got shafted.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, did they ever say
why?
why? Were they just busy back there, or slammed, or what
They
was
just didn't plan. They just didn't plan well with the time, and just had a rough situation. But we weren't a-holes about it, but we did let them know that we were disappointed. We scrambled and kind of left out of there at about 20 minutes till, kind of walk sprinting as much as we could down the strip to Caesar's. Now, Barb is my aunt who has MS.
Right.
And she's the one who do the MS 154 and with, and so she can't really get down there super fast. We're kind of going at her speed, which is totally fine, but she's got some arthritis issues and stuff like that kind of go along with the heat, the MS that make things really difficult for her.
Sure.
We get down to Absinthe at about a minute past 8.
Okay.
8:01, 8:02, and we're thinking, oh god, are they going to let us in? Because this is one of those shows like Cirque du Soleil where if you show up late, they put the spotlight on you. The dumb French clown on stage goes, oh, here's a and they point at you and they get the whole crowd laughing.
Oh yeah, your favorite thing. I forgot.
My favorite thing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, like, we lucked out. Not only did they let us in, get us to our seats quickly, but the other people in our row hadn't shown up yet either, and so we were able to not have to displace anybody to get to our spots.
Oh, that's good.
All right, good.
That's good. Yeah. That could have gone a lot
But
worse.
still kind of fuming about the Chino Poblano situation.
Sure.
The next night, though, was another place that I'd never been before called Sparrow and Wolf. This is way off Strip, and this was a place that we found, and Mitsula said it's currently his favorite restaurant in Las Vegas. And prior to that night, the Hack 5 group went down there and...
did you end up running into any of those guys? You see Jerry?
We ran into, I forgot to mention, during the Chino Poblano dinner,
Yeah.
Mitsula and Brian Brushwood showed up. I never got to see Jury, so we'll talk about that probably later on the show.
Sure.
But Mitsula came and brought me my birthday present, which were sunscreen flasks. So they're bottles that look exactly like bottles of sunscreen, but you fill them with alcohol, which
Awesome.
was perfect for Cabana Day.
Yep.
We loaded them up with gin and got them right in. So we had the bladder that I showed off last week filled with rum, and then we had the 2 flasks, the sunscreen flasks filled with gin.
That's great.
And keep in mind, we bought lots of drinks. We spent plenty of money. We spent $350 at the Cabana
Right.
on drinks and food and stuff. So
Right.
they didn't get shorted at all.
Sure.
All right, so we're at Sparrow and Wolf, and this is a place where you're like, again, you're getting these different sharing plates, scallops, and a kind of a sea parfait, which is like different kinds of seafood and sauces, kind of stacked in a little small thing. I had roasted bone marrow, all these unusual dishes.
Looking at them now on their
And
menu, some of this stuff looks insane. Like good.
Yeah,
Really
and the
good.
drinks, like there's a drink that comes in a little copper bird
Yeah.
that I had, and that was good. Dave, crazy neighbor Dave, had a drink that was made with foie gras.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But they render off the fat and take that out of the drink, and so you're left with kind of it was a weird thing. But anyway,
It sounds super gross to me, but all right.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know, but I tasted it, and it really, there was barely a hint of anything savory. It was a very sweet drink.
Interesting.
Yeah. But, as they're bringing our first courses, they bring over a bottle of champagne and said, we'd like to give you a bottle or we have a bottle of champagne here for you.
Yeah.
Let me back up because this will make more sense.
All right.
While we were at the Cabana, so that was Chino Poblano Saturday night. Sunday during the day, we were at our pool cabana,
Yeah.
and I get a call. It's from a Vegas number. I'm like, all right, let's see who this is, and it's
Tony.
It's Catherine from it's Tony. It's Catherine from Chino Poblano, and she says, Brian, I heard about the situation last night. I just wanted to call and apologize, and let you know that that's not how we like things to go around here, and we know it's a special occasion. We feel very horribly about that. If you and your friends, your group, would like to come back for dinner tonight, then we like to treat you to the entrees that you missed, give you some special desserts. We had a special dessert thing that was set up for you for your birthday, and we never got to bring that to you, and we'd love for you to come back tonight.
That's awesome.
And I said, oh, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that. But we have reservations for Sparrow and Wolf, so we've got that going out tonight. She's like, what about lunch? I said, well, we're at the Cabana all day today, and I don't think we want to dress up, go down there, and then
come back,
when
yeah.
we've spent all this money on the Cabana.
Sure.
She's like, no problem. Totally understand. When you come back to Vegas, let me know, and we'll take care of you. Like, all right, cool.
That's awesome, though.
All right, so fast forward back to Sunday night, Sparrow and Wolf. They bring us a bottle of champagne, and they say, this is actually from Chino Poblano. They send over a bottle of champagne to us at another restaurant
Wow.
as an apology for the situation, which means that she paid attention when I told her where we had reservations for. They called, found out when a reservation was for,
Mhm.
and and then had that sent over. And it was a very nice bottle of champagne. They poured it for all of us. And so it was like, all right, well, that was really cool. And I texted her from the restaurant from Sparrow and Wolf and said, thank you. We just got the bottle of champagne. That was really nice. That actually really impressed us and made a difference. So thank you for doing that. She says, texted back and said, well, when you're done with dinner there, maybe come back by here, and we know you'll be full from dinner, but why don't we do the dessert thing here afterwards? So just come by here.
Okay.
We'll take care of your desserts and all that, and a couple after dinner cocktails and stuff like that.
That's great.
So I posed it to everybody else, and Crazy Neighbor Dave was the saltiest about the whole Chino Poblano thing from the previous night.
I can't imagine that. What a shock this is to hear. Wow.
And he said, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, let's give him another chance. So here, he was kind of going to be the tough sell.
Yeah.
So, so we're like, all right. I confirmed with her. Said, all right, great. We'll be there at 9. Sounds good.
Yeah.
We finish our meal at Sparrow and Wolf, and they come out with a big tray of desserts. We said, oh, well, we heard it's your birthday. We wanted to treat you to a bunch of desserts. So they laid out like 6 desserts across the table, and we're there with James and Svet, who joined us.
Yeah.
George and Barb left early because they had to rent an RV to go to Arches and Zion, and Chris Brown left earlier that night as well. So it was Tina and me, the crazy neighbors, and James and Svet, and 6 desserts, big desserts that we're like all taking pieces of. And like, all right, well, this is good. We're gonna kind of get a lot of desserts. And it's funny because half an hour before that, I was kind of not really complaining to Tina, but I was like, you know what, I never really actually got birthday cake for my birthday. Kind of bummed.
Yeah.
And then here it is, 30 minutes later, we've got tray number 1 of desserts on our way to a restaurant where they're going to provide us with another tray of desserts.
Was your Weight Watchers app going in your pants?
I basically said, this is a weekend where I'll have more fun if I don't even think about it, and I can come back to it afterwards, and I know I'll gain, and I'll get back down to it, no problem, because I've done it before.
Yeah.
And so I just decided not even opening the Weight Watchers.
You know what? That is, I'm proud of you. That's the way you should do it. It's not like you can't come back. One weekend isn't going to destroy your plan. You just go do a thing, come back, fix it all up. You're good. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. And I weighed myself last night, and Tina and I were taking bets on how much it was going to be. I'm 2.5 pounds over what I was when I weighed in on the Thursday before the trip.
See, that's not even bad.
That's nothing. I can do that.
You can lose 2 pounds in a day. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So we finished up there. We made our way over to Cosmopolitan, back to Chino Poblano. They sat us. They gave us exactly the same table, which was kind of weird.
Oh,
and it's this table, I need to put a photo of it up on Twitter, but it's this, I did put a photo of it on Twitter. It's this table that looks like we're at the Last Supper. So it's a C-shaped, it's a long rectangular table with a booth around it that's C-shaped, no chairs in front of it. So we're all kind of facing the same way.
Oh, I see it here.
Except for people who are sitting on the other sides.
Let's see.
Very weird. Yeah, like basically we're all looking forward like we're on a bus bench, but it was, it gives us a nice view of the whole restaurant.
Oh yeah.
But now that I'm looking at the photo, it really puts us on display from the rest of the restaurant.
Oh my gosh, look at Dave. He looks 3 sheets to the wind already in this photo. Just saying.
He was, and that was the dinner. He was, if I were to put a number on it, maybe 6 or 7 sheets to the wind.
Wow.
By the time we went there for dessert the next night.
Wow. That's awesome.
But they came out, they brought us, they actually, we sat down, Dave's like, I want a tamale. Because that was the thing that we kind of got cut off. And so they were all set to bring us desserts. And he's like, no, I want a tamale first. And they were like, absolutely. They went back in the kitchen, had a dish brought out that was similar, but not exactly the same as the tamale that we tried to scarf down before we had to leave, and it was awesome. And that one didn't have the mole sauce. It had a green chili that was really, really good.
Ooh, it sounds so good. Oh my gosh,
it was fantastic. And so we kind of passed that around the table. Then they brought the desserts, and again, it was like an array of desserts. They have a chocolate terracotta warrior filled with milk chocolate mousse that you whack with your spoon and crack open to enjoy, and that was friggin' amazing. Their specialty is their take on mango, sweet mango rice, but it's done as kind of a whipped mango and cream with Rice Krispies on top.
Oh, weird. Like
Crunchy
actual
little
out of the
red
box
Rice
Rice Krispies, like straight up real
I think,
cereal.
I think so, or unless I don't think they're making their own puffed rice, but
Did they
but
snap,
that
crackle,
was
and or pop while you were there?
they did snap, crackle, and pop, so it might have been right out of the box. But again, totally fine because it totally works.
Wow.
A peaches and cream dish, a strawberry shortcake, kind of, their take. It's all. This is our take on blank. Our take on peaches and cream. Our take on strawberry shortcake.
Right.
Massive amounts of sugar. The sugar and the sugar ended up giving Mrs. Crazy Neighbor a wicked migraine.
Oh,
from
no.
all that sweetness. So that kind of cut the night short. But
That's a trigger for
at
people with
the-
migraines. Is lots of sugar, isn't it? That'll get them.
Totally.
Yeah.
So they brought the desserts, and then they kind of indicated, all right, well, thank you very much for coming in. But they didn't say anything like, these are all on us. That's all taken care of.
Oh, no.
Take your time, enjoy this, and we'll see you later.
Right.
It was a weird thing. And Tina's like, I don't know if that was like you're free to go once you finish this, or we'll be back to check on you or anything. So we kind of waited with all these empty dessert plates in front of us. We're like, well, let's see if because we ordered a tamale. We had a couple extra drinks ordered. They probably should bill us for that.
There's like
they
a
never
left
came
hand
back.
not talking to the right hand thing going on, probably.
Kind of,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, well, I guess let's go. And so we threw $40 out there as kind of a tip. Thank you, paying for paying for drinks kind of thing. Like, it's not the server's fault what happened, so they deserve a tip.
Yeah.
And we tipped them the previous night, but we decided to tip again this night.
Sure.
And then we're like, all right, bye-bye, we'll see ya.
Okay.
And they just said goodbye. As we were leaving, they were like, oh, goodbye, thanks again for coming in. So it's like, okay, well, they know we're leaving. It's not like we're gotta like tiptoe out or anything.
Right.
But it just goes to show, I mean, they really, they stepped up and probably would not have gone back there had it not been for reaching out and paying attention to my offhand mention of Sparrow and Wolf and saying, send them a bottle of champagne, again, with our apologies, and see if we can get them back.
So still your favorite restaurant in Vegas then?
Still my favorite restaurant in Vegas. Saturday night
Yeah.
would have been my least favorite restaurant in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they won me back with that customer service, because that is totally what did it.
Well done, China Poblano. You've done it.
China Poblano.
China Poblano.
Also,
Yeah.
just really quickly, swimming in the lazy river at Mandalay Bay on Sunday during the day we had the cabana that day, and a woman behind me goes, "Do I know you?" And I looked back behind me, and I'm like, "Yeah," and I swear to God, I could not place where I knew her from. And she says, "You work with Scott Johnson, right?" And I said, "I do." So I'm thinking, oh, okay, she's a TMS listener. No, wait, that's Misha.
That's my sister.
So it was Scott's sister right behind me at the
Which
the
really
lazy
annoyed
river.
me. It super annoyed me because I mean, I love my sister and that was awesome. that you
because I
guys-
took a picture with her shirtless.
No, with you
Misha.
shirtless with her, you mean? Yeah, let's make that clear. But no, it was because I wanted to go to this trip super bad.
Yes.
Kim's in LA. I have a wedding to perform. The weekend shot. Everything is just a giant piss pot, and I couldn't go. So I've been grumbling about it since I found out I couldn't go. And then I find out my sister I'll just go to Vegas for no reason. She's just down there. Like, she just went on a whim with her daughter because she just graduated. And she's like, let's do a road trip, Mom. And so they went to Vegas. And I'm back here going, frick. She gets to go. I could have been shirtless with Brian. That would have been
could have
amazing.
been shirtless with me.
Yeah. No, it was nice. It was actually super cool to see that. And she texted me on her way home in the car and was like, just blown away that she ran into you. She couldn't believe it because the last time she saw you, or first time she ever met you, was in Vegas, and it happened in Vegas like 4 months ago, whatever it was.
Right.
And there you are again in the same pool, which is
So crazy.
insane.
Totally crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a blast. And oh man, the cabana we had right on the lazy river. Basically, we didn't have to go to a ladder, we didn't have to go to steps or anything. We walked out of the cabana, past our beach chairs, stepped over a little barrier, and we were in the lazy river with our tubes and floating around.
You think Dave peed in the lazy river? I'm just curious. Do you think he ever pees in there? He has that
I
face.
don't-
He has that kind of face. I'm not saying he would. I don't want to
Oh, he
accuse
does.
anybody, but he's got that face.
Here's the only reason I think he wouldn't,
Okay.
because he himself owns a pool.
Yeah.
And I think that when you own a pool, you're very respectful about not peeing in other people's pools.
You're probably right. I don't want to throw any shade at Dave, but he has that face, that kind of shit-eating grin face.
Oh,
Where-
believe me, there were other things that that he tried to get away with. We did the drinking wheel,
Yeah.
the observation wheel, and where you basically have 30 minutes. It's an all-you-can-drink open bar inside one of the cars, and so we took well advantage of that. But he said, I'm going to get everybody here drinking Long Island iced teas. I'm like, all right. We walk in, and so it was like him, me, Chris Brown, and George and Barb, and then everybody else kind of stayed behind. They didn't want to go on the wheel, and then maybe about 5 or 6 other people. And he gets in there and says, I bet you make a really good Long Island iced tea. And she's like, I do. And so I'll take one of those. And I said, you know what? That sounds good to me too.
Mhm.
And then they poured, they basically filled us all up with Long Island iced teas.
Wow. Well done,
The
Dave.
photo you just sent me.
Yeah. Is that the guy? Is that the annoying French guy?
Okay, so that's so Absinthe is not a Cirque show. This is really cool. Like,
I thought it was a Cirque thing. Why did I think
it's
that?
Cirque. It's Cirque-like because they have acrobatics and things like that, but it's not Canadian. There was, a Ukrainian group that was part of this. There was a guy from Moscow who stacked chairs and climbed on top of this wobbly stack of chairs and did stuff. But this is a purely Americanized thing. That guy you sent a photo of is the original gazillionaire, who is supposed to look like this greasy, smarmy. Well, he is a greasy, smarmy host of this event, and he's supposed to be this guy who had unlimited money, brought all these people to Vegas to put on the show. That's the premise
That's the
of
conceit. Sure.
Absinthe.
Okay. Yeah.
That guy, Tina and I saw the other time we saw Absinthe years ago, and he was fantastic. The new guy that they've got playing the gazillionaire is okay, but not nearly as greasy, smarmy as this guy. That guy just exudes smarm, and
His teeth are
And-
terrible. Like his hair.
they really are.
is-
Like, I mean, but that guy, when he, would make rude comments about people in the audience, and be warned, Absinthe is my favorite show in Vegas, but be warned, if you are offended by anything politically incorrect, you will be offended by this.
Oh, great. Perfect.
It's you have to kind of put all that stuff on hold, because he's not up there using the N-word or anything like
Right.
that, but he's oh, there's a Jew in the front row, I bet he's good at math. Well, it's not even that.
There's a Jew
That-
in the front row who's good at math.
Yeah, it's stuff along those lines, but he did a lot better than I just did. I can't do a good impersonation of the smarminess that comes across.
That's funny. All right.
But, oh, are you two guys? Are you a couple? Because I'm trying to figure out which one of you is on top and which one of you is on the bottom. Let me see. Stand up. Oh, yeah, it's probably you on the bottom, and your back doesn't look sticky, and blah, 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 blah. So it's
Oh, wow. That is.
it's that kind of rough stuff. Feel
All
free to
right.
edit that out if
Yeah,
you need
no,
to.
that's totally fine. So wait, that's Absinthe is the show?
That's Absinthe,
All
and
right.
it is such it is a really, really great show.
Brian's favorite show on the strip. Remember that, everybody.
I would recommend that, absolutely.
One of these days, I'm going to illustrate the book, and we're going to make a little book, and it's going to be called Brian Ibbott's 100% Perfect Guide to Las Vegas or something.
There you go. I do need to update the I do have a page at coverville.com/Vegas for people who say, hey, I'm going to Vegas, what do you recommend? But there's a few things I need to update on there, so I will.
That's awesome.
Tell me about your weekend, Scott, because enough about me.
Well,
Let's talk about you.
Let's talk about a couple of listeners, actually, because this is cool. So, some months ago, I got contacted by Adam and his fiancee, Megan, or Meg, and they were getting married, and they asked if I could perform it. And I learned that she grew up in New Zealand, was born in South Africa. He met her in New Zealand, but he is from England, from London, well, north of London, and but just English as you get. She's basically a Kiwi because she's lived most of her life in New Zealand. Her parents run like a turtle sanctuary in Australia. He's a working veterinarian. She's like a biologist, something. I forget all that now, but she's super cool. Anyway, they decided instead of having.
They live out here though?
No, they live
out here?
No, they live in New Zealand, or they live in.
They do live in New Zealand. Okay.
I guess right now they're in the UK, but they met in New Zealand while he was there, and now they're kind of based in London. But they have been listening to stuff we've done since like The Instance in 2007. Then they moved on to everything else that ever came after that, including TMS. They're caught up on that. They listen to Skim. They're all super into all the shows, right? And so, so he was like, when he was originally asked me, he's dropping these jokes about 5 tacos in a parking lot. And, it was clear that he's like an old school TMS listener. And he said, I would really like it. I understand that you performed a few weddings. I would really love it if you performed our wedding. When we come out there in August, we're going to do this at the Salt Flats. We want to do it way out. It's like 2.5 hours north of Salt Lake, northeast of Salt Lake, where the lake ends, and then it's just this. Well, you've seen the Knight Rider intro. You've seen the the second of these new Star Wars movies with the Salt Planet. That was all filmed there.
That's cool.
So a lot of people have an idea. It's very Mad Maxy. It's really insane. It's just
otherworldly for sure.
It feels like you're on another planet. I sent Brian some pictures from while I was there, but so this was just yesterday. Anyway, they turns out they got engaged in the elf forest in New Zealand that they filmed the scene where they meet with
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like all that stuff. They're super nerds about fantasy and sci-fi and all that. They're beautiful people, like just a gorgeous couple.
Just look at the photos, like model just a cute couple.
Yeah,
like these are the people in the frames when you go buy a frame at the store and you take out the pretty people and put, here's me.
Yeah, basically, like they're just beautiful people, and they have so their parents are all going to come from both sides, but the ones in Australia couldn't make it, so their parents from England did though, and they were delightful human beings. I love talking to that guy and his wife. I could talk to them for days. They just were wonderful, sweet people. We got there a little early. Sorry, let me back up. He says, I want you to perform the wedding, and we want Taylor, your daughter, to do all the photography. So we thought, Taylor and I were like, oh, that's awesome. We'll do like a little dad-daughter joint thing. This will be fun. Man, those guys are crazy.
Carter to design the wedding invitations. I want Kim to do the catering.
Exactly.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, this is some kind of weird family thing. But anyway, so what they've done is they're on a road trip that's not even done yet. They came out to Seattle first. They rented a convertible Mustang.
Oh, jeez.
And they have been just driving all around. They were in British Columbia for a while. They went down to Montana. They've stayed in all these weird Airbnbs that are like super crazy cabins and just like the strangest possible Airbnb situations.
Yeah.
There's the tons to that story, which I probably haven't heard all yet, which I'll hear tonight because we're having over for dinner before they leave town. But anyway, they loop all the way around. They come to Utah for this part. They love cars and racing. And it turns out at the Salt Flats right now, it's Speed Week, which is like a big racing week, and there's tons of competition going on. So that's why they wanted to see that. So they wanted to get pictures with the cars and stuff like that. So we did a bunch of that yesterday. Did the wedding. Again, it's just me performing, my daughter running around taking pictures, the couple, and then his parents. That's it. Six of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Six of us out there in the middle of the white. It's just crazy. Just the weirdest thing I've ever done. And in all good ways. It was like a magical, weird experience to me. And they were really cute and sweet. And they had to change into their clothes in this horrible bathroom that's like part of this restaurant out there. And like it was just they were just living this bohemian moment of awesome. It was just so great.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, they had they were wearing the coolest stuff too. I mean, she almost had like a Princess Jasmine. I mean, just from the photo that you sent over. Mm-hmm. I mean, not like a straight up I'm Princess Jasmine kind of thing, but a very, a very elegant, not your typical wedding dress kind of thing. And he looked like, I don't know, like early, who's the guy who did all the art, the production art for Star Wars?
That guy.
I know. Yes. Anyway,
Amazing book that you can buy now with all his art in it.
exactly. Not Hildebrandt, but
Okay.
but he looked like one of those early Han Solo drawings.
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Yeah, no,
Like
he did.
really-
He looked like some kind of Firefly actor or something.
Space pirate. He looked like a space pirate.
He looked a little like a space pirate, but not in a goofy cosplay way. It was like a good look.
Right. Ralph McQuarrie. Thank you. Yes, that's what I'm trying to think of.
Macquarie, that's who it is. Anyway,
Ralph.
so we do this thing. They had a cake there. We did. I did the thing, signed all the paperwork, got them all hooked up. It was pretty funny. His dad signed the line that was supposed to be the husband's line by accident, not the witness line. So now he's got to go back to the
Oh
county.
no! So now he's married.
Yeah, he married his mother. Or no, wait, he married his daughter-in-law, basically.
His daughter.
So now he's got to go back to the thing today, what are they called, this county clerk thing, and get him to fix it, or find out what they do, because I'm sure they have people sign the wrong stuff all the time, so they have some way of dealing with it. Probably just cross it out, who knows? But anyway, it was just the most delightful thing, and I gotta say, going out there was like a different planet. I need to spend more time out there. It was beautiful.
Yeah. How far a drive is that from?
It's about 2 hours 15 minutes north, if traffic's okay, and then and once you leave the city, it just opens up. It's just it's like driving anywhere far, but so not too bad. So in total is like maybe 4.5 hours of driving by the time we got home, but we didn't get home till like 11:30 last night or something. But the weather was perfect. Normally it's very windy out there. We didn't have any wind. This is the other thing. To get pictures in front of these cars, you need to ask the people who own them, hey, is it okay if we take these pictures? And Taylor's just a pro, dude, running around asking questions, getting everyone set up, doing what she has to do. And I got to say, this is an interesting thing. And I think there's something to learn here. But, you see a van or a truck or a camper with big, giant, typically sort of, I use the term, I don't mean this in a super bad way. I'm just going to use it, but like rednecky stuff, like
okay, sure,
like the Confederate flag over here, and on this side a big Trump sticker, and over here, like just the stuff, all the stereotype stuff that you think of. And these guys are sitting around, they're drinking Budweiser, they're just feeling. They've got mullets, like everybody's fitting the stereotype perfectly. And I have to say, I don't know that I've ever ran into nicer people and more generous with their time and their cars and their willingness to say, oh, sure, come on over. Let me pull the car out in the middle of the thing so you got less background noise, and you don't have to Photoshop all that out of there, and let's do that. And these people were like from Kentucky. The other guy was from, the girl was from British Columbia, and then there was, I can't remember where the other guy was from. But anyway, it was a nice reminder that just because a bunch of people may have a different culture, lifestyle, differences of opinion, political polarization, there's some good common ground you can find, and people are all right. It was the kindness of rednecks yesterday that really struck me. Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah.
Plus, they were charmed by these two Europeans with their accents and all that. And then the final thing I would say, I think my favorite thing of the night, of the day, was I haven't had this chance to like one-on-one with my daughter for any length of time like this since she was a little kid. It was always just in the group, in the family. We drive to California, we're 12 hours in the car, but it's all of us. Like it's
all of you, right? Nick and Carter, and
right?
Kim,
all the kids,
right.
Kim, and
Just
everything.
the
But
two of you.
just me and Taylor on the open road like that was one of the most delightful, awesome things I have ever done. I loved it.
That's cool.
So I want to recommend it if you've got kids who are now, I guess she's an adult, as she has a kid, for heaven's sakes. But it's just a great bonding time, talking in ways that you haven't before. We were never bored. We never not talked. It was always us just having a blast. By the end of it, she was playing all these covers from her phone and telling me why she liked them and asking me to tell you about them, and like all this,
cool.
Just this great kind of bonding experience. And her and I are already close, but it was this really, I don't know, just an extra little bit that I haven't experienced, and it was awesome. I loved it.
That is the one thing I'm really going to miss from this year not doing BlizzCon, because that was always like me and Tristan getting out there, doing a you know, it was just the two of us. We'd go and we'd hit In-N-Out Burger and go to Disneyland for the whole day and race from ride to ride and say, no, let's go do the Guardians of the Galaxy again, and, you know, race across the width of the park just to get to, you know, the next ride we want to do. I absolutely miss or will miss that, doing that this November when I hear about everybody at BlizzCon. But
yeah, and I still don't know if I'm going. But yeah, like there's just something about that, right? And
really
it's
totally
an important thing. If you've got kids, just do it. Spend some time with them in that way. It's just a great, I don't know. And she blows my mind. Watching her work in this environment is so much fun, and I've seen her do it a dozen times. She's done hundreds of weddings. But seeing her
she's
just like,
amazingly talented too.
Oh no, her shots are incredible, right? Like really amazing. But also watching her ninja around the place, like tiptoe up here for this shot and then run over here and lay on the ground and get this like angle, and like she's just constantly moving and then telling people where to be and what to hold and how to do it, and in a way that isn't annoying or bossy. Like it's just a very professional side of her, and it's so much fun to watch that. From my perspective, it's just like I was having, you know, pride overdose. It was fantastic.
Right.
So anyway, I really enjoyed it.
That's cool.
It was awesome, and I would
Very
do
cool.
it again. And they're coming over tonight, so they're going to come hang out. They're going to see the studio. Going to have dinner. They want to eat Southern food, so Kim's doing the whole jambalaya thing. And
Cool.
I'm very excited.
Cool.
So there you go. All right. Well, that's it. We've eaten a lot of the show already, but I do have 10 minutes, and there's an important news story we have to get to. And so I'm going to do it.
Yes, we do. We must.
Yeah, we must do this. Here you go.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive, sensational summary of world and local events.
It's the news, brought to you by.
Brought to you by Soundography. Look for a new episode on the feed today, soundography.com. Another episode of You Gotta Listen to This. This time it's me. I make Hammond listen to the last Godly and Cream album. What does he think? Find out. It's going to be on soundography.com later today.
So what was the name of the group? What is it?
Godly and Cream. They are two of the guys who are in the band 10cc, you know, the Things We Do for Love
Right. Yeah.
and Dreadnought Holiday, which would be a great Star Wars version of Dreadlock Holiday.
Sure. Why not?
I don't like androids. No. I'd take them apart. Dreadnought Holiday.
Nice.
Anyway.
I've never heard of
so
them, but they sound interesting.
The song you would have heard of from Godly and Cream was a song called Cry that had a great black and white video where they were doing Morph before Morph was a piece of software that you could buy. And it was black and white faces all morphing from one to the other, really close up on their faces, all looking straight at the camera.
Is this some kind of 90s?
Most of them crying.
90s thing or 80s?
80s.
80s, wow.
80s.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed by the stuff that happened then that I didn't pay attention to at the time.
And these guys, Godly and Cream, were big music video producers in the 80s, and like Girls on Film, the Duran Duran video was produced by them. You could look at a big rap sheet of all of the stuff they produced and be like, oh, I know all these videos, and there you go.
Do you know that? Didn't you tell me? Are you the one that told me originally about the cover band that does like funkadelic versions of songs, and they're called something?
Scary Pockets.
Scary Pockets. That's you, right? That told me that.
Yes.
Taylor.
You know
apparently,
who that is?
It's something to do with what's his name?
It's
Patreon
Jack
guy.
Conte from Pomplamoose.
Right.
Founder or co-founder of Patreon, Jack Conte.
That's right. Because Taylor's got this huge playlist full of their music last night, and she was just cranking it in the car. And then talking about why she likes this version of Creep or this version of whatever. And she goes, you got to tell Brian about these guys. I go, I think he's already told me about them. I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Somebody told me about them and it's like, oh, yeah, like a year or so ago. And then I've just been buying all their stuff. They're so freaking prolific. You've got to have a subscription to their Patreon. You got to have a subscription to their deal to get all their music because they put out so much.
They have 6 albums in 2018 alone. And I'm not talking like 2 or 3 tracks. It's like full albums of covers, and then already full 2 or 3 this year. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And they're not. It's not like just cranking out a funk version of this. I mean, they're imaginative, innovative funk versions of pop songs, and it's
which
so
is a
well done.
Great fit for Conte and his keyboards and his stuff.
Jack Conte, I'll say it right now. Jack Conte is a musical genius.
Yeah.
He is absolutely a musical genius.
It sounds like a a whiskey flavored salsa. To
Jack
me.
Conte sauce. Jack
Yeah.
Conte sauce.
Jack Conte
yes.
sauce. Do you want the Jack Conte? All right, quick story here. This is a story that is Vegas related and grasshopper related.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, no grasshoppers. Everything good? You didn't see any?
The only grasshopper I saw was on the shirt that I bought specifically for this trip.
Yes. Wayne, did you buy it there or before you left?
No, I bought it before I left. I bought it on Amazon a week before I left, saying I'm gonna wear this and it's gonna be hilarious because it's a grasshopper.
Did you actually
And,
search for a grasshopper shirt and you found one? Is that how that worked?
I did, and here's the thing, man. They already had shirts last week on Amazon about Grasshopper Apocalypse 2019 in Las Vegas. One of them was modeled after the Area 51 thing,
Yeah.
and it says Grasshopper Apocalypse 2019. They can't catch all of us.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's
but
great.
this one I like because it was subtle. It's just a black grasshopper on a slate gray shirt.
You could wear it anywhere.
I can wear it anywhere, and I still will, as
Yeah.
opposed to the, dumb Vegas thing.
Well, here's the thing you could have done that you didn't do. Maybe I'm glad you
And
didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't.
probably good. But if you want a pizza full of grasshoppers, you can now get that as a menu item in Las Vegas Pizzeria, and it's taking the world by swarm.
No,
Get
clever.
it? Get it? That's
Clever.
pretty good.
Swarm sounds like storm.
It sure does. In the kitchen of the Las Vegas Pizzeria, there is a new ingredient on the New York style sliced pizzas. You might call it a chicken of the desert. Grasshoppers. It's called the Canyon Hopper Pizza at Evil Pie.
Evil pie. Yeah.
I've heard Zula mention that before sometime.
Yes, it's a good downtown pizza place. I've never been there. I had Pizza Rock for the first time on this trip with you when we grabbed some on the way to Container Park.
Yeah, that was good pizza, except I had the oil
That was-
cups. I got the oil cups.
Oh yes, and I need to try Evil Pie sometime. Apparently, there's like 3 or 4 really good pizza places in around the Fremont Street area now.
The hidden pizza thing in Cosmo is still really good too. If you get a chance to go there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
450 at Park or at Aria.
So it says here, let's see if I can find it. If you stop by the parlor on 508th Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas, slice will cost you $5.50, but supplies are selling out fast. California transplant from Bakersfield. Grew up in a family pizza parlor, blah, blah, blah. It's the guy that owns it. We don't care about that. One of the biblical plagues invades Vegas, and we had to laugh in the face of it, says Powers. He's the dude that owns it. You see all these old ladies. My grandma was one of them, playing the slot machines while Rome burns around them. Still one of these oxygen smoking cigarettes. Still on their oxygen smoking cigarettes. That's basically Las Vegas. Anyway, they are putting yeah, they put grasshoppers on the pizzas. My brother would just totally eat this without even thinking about it. He just eat it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he used to microwave them and pop them in like popcorn, right?
Yeah, he didn't care. He was all into it. Anyway, if you want to have that, that's a thing you can do right now.
Yeah, and I don't think, and they say supplies are limited. Like I said, we saw 0 grasshoppers, and we were out and about. I mean, we went down to the link, we went around to Park MGM. We were outside for a lot of the time, hanging out at night at the Bellagio. We watched a couple runs of the fountains out there. We saw 0 grasshoppers the whole time we were out there.
Did you see any carcasses
Not even
and stuff?
not even carcasses, none.
Really?
Yeah.
Weren't there? I wonder what that means. Like they just were really good about keeping it clean, I guess. Once they all died and moved on,
Yeah.
or maybe they don't die; they just move on. I don't know how that works.
Well, some of them have to die, right? I mean, no one makes the trip down the Oregon Trail without getting dysentery.
That's right. That's true. Plus, you could say Vegas's slogan should be "Some of them have to die sometime," right? That
So
should be- yeah.
exactly. Nobody makes it. Not everybody makes it out alive.
I mean, I don't know how much that would help their tourism, but I like it. It's pretty good. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have a quick conversation with our buddy Bill and talk on the Tuesday business. And also, Jerry, we'll hook up with him, although I haven't heard from him. I assume he's back from HackerCon or whatever it's called, DEF CON, rather.
It should be, yeah. Yep. Should be.
Curious about not only that convention, but, him crossing paths with you in Vegas, but not really ever seeing you, which is weird.
Never saw him. He was really busy with the Hack 5 booth and
Right. He was helping run that whole thing, wasn't he?
he was there on their dime, so he kind of couldn't say, "Hey, thanks for bringing me here. I'm gonna go hang out with my buddy Brian down at Mandalay Bay."
Yeah, that's a good impression. I'm
Is that
gonna
what
I'm
you're-
gonna add to it by.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So we'll get to that soon. But before that, Brian, speaking of music, has some, and he will now tell us all about it.
Yes, Melissa Harris is from Chicago, but she's better known there in the music world as Born Days. This is her second release. The 2017 release Be True was her debut. This is from her upcoming EP, which comes out October 4th, courtesy of Reinhardt Records. Born Days, here is the song Where We Live.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You might call office safety common sense, thinking one step ahead, considering the consequence of your action.
We almost went for a spill that time, Charlie.
The morning stream. It's high noon.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Always good to see you here, have you here, and be with you. We missed you guys terribly. We didn't have a show on Monday. Friday, it was fun to have Dan around, but it's not the same. Gotta have our schmibbit here, and we're back at it. We'll see about the future, like that Hawaii thing. When would that happen? What's the month you'd go? Do you
Probably
know?
September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at you, man. That sounds like fun.
Jet setting.
All right. Let's get Bill in here, if you are inclined to do that with me. Let's see.
I'm totally on board with getting Bill in here onto the show.
Great, because that's how it's going to be. Let's add him to the call, and I will now, as he enters, hit a thing that will tell us that he's here. Here we go.
But Bill just isn't thinking about danger.
Hey, everybody, look who it is. It's Bill Duran, all the way from Seattle, Washington, building things, making things, and talking to us about how to do it ourselves. Bill Duran, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello.
Behold.
Hello.
My green drink.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Tell us more about that. What's that?
Brittany made it for me.
What's in there?
And it's got a lot of
Star Wars blue milk mixed with urine.
no, it's the new green milk from Luke's little exile island.
Oh, right,
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and he milked it out of
Walrus.
an alien thing or whatever.
Space walrus squeezing.
Yeah. Space walruses. That's still gross, that scene.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you. How are things? Things going good?
Things are good. I made something new. I want to talk about it.
Oh, my Lord.
I want to see it.
All right. Well, this is a perfect place for it because on Tuesdays, Bill comes on and talks about stuff he's making. If you're not familiar with punishprops.com, I'd recommend going there right now and checking out his wares. Bill, what did you make, and how will it inspire the millions of followers you have?
Well, with it, I can lead the horde because I made the Doomhammer.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
Holy shit.
All right, I'm going to your site.
Yeah.
Going. Punishprops.com.
I showed this to
Yeah.
Chris Metzen the other day, and you want to hear his reaction? So Chris Metzen,
Yes.
creator of the Doomhammer. Let me find it here. Metzen.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's really good. For some reason, this isn't coming up because my texts are being dumb. Well, he did write to me and said something very nice back, and now I can't pull it up. I'll find it before the show's over, or before your segment's
Cool.
over. Don't you worry. Anyway,
All right.
Tell us about it.
Well, my Doomhammer is gigantic. It's super fun. It might be one of my favorite things I've ever made. But even though it is very large, it only weighs 1.5 pounds, or it weighs 1/13 of my cat.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you measure the cat to know that?
Cat weighs about 20 pounds.
Okay.
He's a big fella.
Wow.
All right. Wow.
And it would take 13 of my Doomhammers to make one of my cats.
That's fantastic.
Can I make a really quick comment on the brilliance of your marketing by
Yeah?
saying, making the World of Warcraft Doomhammer with Yaya Han? EVA foam.
That's right. We did, though. So the whole thing was made out of EVA foam.
I scrubbed through the whole video trying to find
Oh.
Yaya Han, and then I realized, oh, it's the foam that she.
It's her foam, yeah.
It's her foam. made from
So-
Yaya foam made from
100
Yaya Han.
100% pure Yaya. So the only materials I used on the whole thing was one PVC pipe for the handle. Everything else is foam.
Wow.
Foam and glue.
Because otherwise it'd be a floppy Doomhammer.
It would be a pretty floppy Doomhammer. I'm just picturing Thrall running into battle with this really floppy hammer.
Seems like it wouldn't be optimal. I see you got the foam. This is just a small point to point out. People always probably assume when you talk about foam, you're getting some fancy thing shipped to you from like Ireland or whatever. Nope, he just goes into the craft store and buys these sheets of foam.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
So the cool thing is, Yaya got really good big sheets of foam put into Joann's stores.
Yeah.
She's been working on it literally for years, and it's finally happened because she is a juggernaut.
Yeah.
And we got into this. We were making floor mat armor. We are going to Harbor Freight and getting cheap floor mats, but having access to large sheets of foam in a variety of thicknesses that doesn't have that weird texture on it, and I can go buy it like at the Joann's down the street, it changes everything.
Yeah, you don't have to pre-order, wait for it to arrive and stuff. Just like, well, we need, and if you forget anything or need anything follow-up, it's like, oh, we need another sheet of this. I forgot about this one part.
Yeah. And then they
have
also
to actually go into it.
There.
It makes me actually want to go into a Joann Fabrics.
Yes,
you should.
Yes.
I go into Joann's like every week.
Yeah.
There's so much. There is legitimately a ton of cool
Fabrics.
stuff in there. Yeah.
I get PTSD from being a kid and sitting there having to look through those stupid catalogs of patterns while my mom was picking out fabrics, and it felt like I was there for hours.
Waiting in line at the cut table.
Yes.
The guy in front of you has 18 bolts of cloth, and he's like, I need to take up this whole counter for the next hour and a half.
Yep.
Right, exactly. I'm sorry, go ahead. You're about to say something.
So anyway, the foam was really, really great. It went together really well. I was able to put together the hammer in just a couple of days, and I made a free pattern too. So if anyone heads to punishprops.com, in fact, we have a free blueprint section on our website where all of that stuff's included, and there is dozens of free materials over there to work from. Wow. But you should go get the Doom Hammer when I make that.
This is a perfect time for all this. Everyone's freaking out about Classic being released in a week or two or whatever it is. And
that's really close. That's a good point, Scott. It's almost like I planned to make a classic World of Warcraft weapon this week.
Weird. What amazing timing you have, it turns out.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect though, because I love WoW. I played for 5 years. I love the Doom Hammer. WoW Classic is coming out. I played it at BlizzCon last year. It was super fun, but I don't think I'm going to get into it. But I know a lot of other people. I mean, I'm not going to play, but I'm still excited. And I know a lot of other people.
That's where I'm at. I just, the time it will take, I mean, people don't remember this, but it used to take you a couple of weeks to get to level 10 back in those days. These days you can do it in an hour or two.
Yeah.
You're in for the long grind and the big haul, and that's what some people want, and that's awesome. And I'm stoked for this to be out, but I don't think I have the life for it. I don't think I can do it anymore.
I doubt I'm even going to log 1 minute of classic WoW when I can barely get any time to do anything in regular WoW to help my team.
Right.
Sorry, Tetsemi and crew.
Yeah.
I will be happy making classic WoW weapons myself and running around with a giant Doom Hammer. I love it. I just run around the shop swinging it because it's cool.
And you say how? Sorry, what was the weight again? It's super light. What was it?
1.5 pounds.
That's crazy. Because when you guys see this end product here, you're going to go, that looks like a heavy-ass metal thing, and it's just not.
Oh, there's the 20-pound cat.
Whoa.
There it is.
Oh, my gosh, that was scary. People missed that. Oh, look at the way you did the
first
detail.
thing I saw were the ripples in your glass of water, which kind of alerts us all to the fact that your cat is coming.
Did you see the ripples in my green milk?
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. All right, so how long of a job was it? Because it looks detailed and crazy. Did it take from start to finish? What would you say?
Maybe like 3 days, I think. It's hard to judge though, because when I work pretty fast, but then we stopped to film everything.
Right.
But it took me about 3 days. The glue, nothing fancy. I used a combination of contact cement, super glue, and hot glue, but you could just use hot glue or just super glue. And then the paint, again, also very simple. All hand brushed, no spraying. Other than a spray paint of primer, and everything else, the metallic finish, the weathering, everything was hand brushed, just with simple acrylic paints. I didn't go too overboard with my finishing technique, and I think that the look I got with it, I think I pulled it off.
Yeah,
I got that nice mottled texture on the textured metal parts, lots of look like scratches and stuff, and then I dirtied it up a little bit. So I'm pretty happy with how it went.
It is the thing I worry most about with foam. Why one of the reasons I haven't tried doing anything in foam is just because I'm worried that whatever glue choice I make, I'm gonna slowly watch as I put the glue on the foam and it slowly eats away the foam, and there's like this acrid white smoke that fills my.
So EVA foam won't happen with EVA foam. It's pretty inert. But you're thinking of things like styrofoam. Like if you spray paint styrofoam, it just
does it really? I've never tried that. That sounds bad.
Yeah,
don't breathe that.
You could do that on purpose though to get that effect if that's something you're going for.
Just do it outside.
Just definitely do it outside. Yeah, but EVA foam, you're not going to melt it with normal glues and adhesives and solvents.
I mean, everything about this project it's obviously awesome, and you did a great job, and it's easy to see all the detail, and you've done everything right. But the fact that you literally have enthusiastic approval from Chris Metzen, this was in his head. This was in his head before it was anything real. So well done. Yeah. Nice work.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's really, really good. What do you have other WoW weapons you would like to do that aren't Doomhammer?
An endless succession. I mean, I love Gorehowl.
Yeah.
I had Gorehowl on my little female gnome warrior, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Gorehowl is great. You should do Gorehowl. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there.
Okay.
That should be your next thing. Because that was not his dad's, but that was, what's his name's weapon? Duratan. No, not Duratan.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, Duratan. And he got it from his dad. Right? Do I have that wrong? Hold on. Where did Gorehowl come from? I've forgotten.
I'm not even gonna try.
Oh, the Hell Screams. Yeah. They're the Hell Screams. Yeah, the Hell Screams had that. Sorry.
He's got out of the giant statue that they have at BlizzCon.
Right.
Steve Wang's team made.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. All right. Well, I need to see this in person at some point, and also have it in your will that I get it when you die. All right. That's great.
Okay.
Bill Duran, you also give us a little linky stinky to check out before next week. What do you have this week?
I have a good video. I also want to point out that someone said instead of Hellscream, his name should be Sour Cream. I would follow Gromosh Sour Cream into battle.
Oh, I would too. Yeah.
All right, I had a video for you. It's the Craftsman. We've showed him before. CRAFSMAN, Craftsman.
Mm-hmm.
He did a video on making custom action figures, and it is super fun, super charming, and super wonderful.
Did he take? There's a puppet in here too. All right.
Well, that's him. That's the Craftsman.
So wait,
Hold on. Some guy was telling me how to make a new site, VideoWix.com. I just got to get. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
So
he said if I like my site, then I'd feel free to skip. So I went ahead and did that.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good. So wait, so he always in puppet form when he's talking and telling you what he's going to do and everything? I don't remember
Scott,
this guy.
the video is presented by the puppet.
So there is no person.
So hard to figure out.
I see.
No human being. What is? Yeah.
I see. So tell me this without us. I mean, this be a bit of a spoiler. People should check out the video no matter what. But he's doing it with what? Like, is he finding action figures that he likes and then is modifying them? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, kit bashing action figures, taking lots of old toys, cutting them apart, gluing them back together to make something new. And it's a really fun thing because you can get action figures for crazy cheap, old used ones. Just start gluing them together.
I love it. He makes a mold using Legos.
Yeah.
Like Legos looking, I think maybe even filled with silly putty. I can't tell.
Oh, this is great. Oh, and he's got these old Star Wars figures he's going to tear open. And oh my goodness. How will you make a mold in a Lego mold? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, so using Lego to build the walls of your mold is actually pretty common. Yeah.
Clearly, I don't know anything. Oh,
I prefer to make my mold walls from other more readily available and less expensive materials than Lego.
This is fantastic. You did something with the Hammerhead that pleases me.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. And his videos are all super duper charming.
All right, I'll check out check out his channel in general. I know you've talked about him before, but I don't remember the puppet bit. So I don't know what that says about me, but I don't remember the puppet. Anyway, whatever. You're dumbstruck by my suggestion that it might be a person making the puppet move, but your point is it's just a puppet, right? Like it's a character, not even a character. This is a creature that makes cool stuff.
Yeah.
And
his name is the Craftsman.
The Craftsman, right? All right. It all makes sense to me now. Bill Duran, it's a pleasure to have you back. Hope you have a fantastic week. See you next time. Oh, he's Chinbeard on Twitter, by the way. Don't forget that. That's an
Very
important.
good. Yes.
All right, jury
Just
is
assembling some Legos to make a mold right now. That's what
Indeed.
we're doing.
Indeed. I didn't warn Jerry about email today or video today, so it doesn't matter actually what he comes in as. If he decides audio only, that'll be fine.
Best not to get him worked up about it, though, Scott.
I know.
If he accidentally gives this video good, but we better be careful.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants that. All right, I'm gonna play this for him here though. First,
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Oh, yeah?
I should put that on the end of that. Just stick it on there. What do you think? That'd be all right. Justin, are you
Yes,
there?
Just attach it to that one, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man.
Fam.
Hey.
Tell me if I'm echoing this time.
Oh, I will this time.
So far, no.
Yeah. Your anger in the chat room last week was palpable, and I decided I would never not tell you again. I will always tell you now.
We can actually
I
smell
want-
the pulp.
I'm here for the show. I want to make the show good.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I just
You
kept.
make the show good just by being here, man.
Yeah, just showing up. Hey, did you hack the world over the weekend or what? I heard you were at DEF CON or HackerCon or whatever the hell it's called. What's it called? DEF CON.
Yeah, DEF CON out in Vegas, which means my voice is just going to be permanently trashed for the month.
Yeah.
I have 4 different cons.
It's actually hard to tell with you though a little bit because you have you already kind of have
Already
a
got a
voice.
little bit of gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already got a little bit of a gravel.
I
to
have
you.
a lower voice, but this is definitely like I can recognize it in myself. And then really when you tell it is when I try to go any higher than this register right now, and I just get this, kind of
Sure.
my voice is changing in middle school.
Sure.
You know,
That's
warble.
it's a great look into the past of Justin Robert Young. So that was a cool con. I understand the way that thing works is pretty interesting. And you worked I guess you were working Kitchen's booth the whole time, right?
I actually, I did not think I was going to be working the booth the whole time, but holy crap was I, because it was so busy, man. Turns out Hack 5 is a big effing deal at DEF CON, and it was great to see Darren and Snubs in all their glory. I know how hard they've worked on that channel and in that field. But yeah, it was great. And I ran into a bunch of people, and it was fun. I actually got recognized more at DEF CON than I did at Gen Con, which was interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. Huh. What did they mainly know you from? The politics stuff or from like Night
there's
Attack?
more Frog Pants people at Gen Con, and probably more ex or current like Twit fans or DTNS fans, like that tech focused kind of stuff.
I can see
Oh,
that.
that would make sense. Yeah.
Were you sad that you didn't get to see Brian Ibbett on his birthday trip down there?
I was sad that he didn't get to see
I
Brian
was
Ibbett.
sad. I was very sad. It was a lot busier than I thought. I thought I was going to have a lot of time, a lot of downtime of just like, hey, I'm looking for something to do. And I knew Ibbett was going to be there for the weekend. But holy crap. I was like one place to another place to another place to another place to another place. And then it's, as you find in Vegas, you look down and you're watching at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's totally true. Did you is it hard for you in that scenario where the con is happening, you're focused on sort of keeping up with what's being done at the booth and everything, to even know what was happening in politics? Or do you I'm always curious about that.
Theoretically, it would have been if one of the big stories hadn't happened and it was kind of impossible to escape, which is great because I needed that level of volume to break through all the noise. But yeah, no, I'm up on things. Well, I mean, because also the politics can't stop for me because I'm doing newsletters, podcasts.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
I gotta stay up on stuff.
Sure. What was the big story in your mind then? I'm curious about that. I probably know which one it is, but what was the big thing that popped?
Yeah, what would you? No. I'm sorry. Wait, was there? I was talking about Andrew Yang qualifying for the 3rd debate. Scott, that's
right.
the big story of the week.
that's the story that's on everybody's lips.
Yeah. Well, this morning it seems like everybody's talking about my old pal Kurt Schilling running for Congress in Arizona.
Oh, that is something that I literally just saw on Twitter right before I took a shower before this show. But
yeah, that's pretty breaking stuff that's happening at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's going to be an interesting.
So are
thing.
you? Wait, hold on. Are you endorsing him right now here on the show?
No.
Is this?
No.
Is
Is
happening
the running
right
mate going to be the bloody sock?
I don't want to freak people out, but about once or twice a year, Kurt and I talk. It's usually via text. Sometimes he'll reach out and just say, hey, Merry Christmas to you and your family, or it'll be me poking him or making fun of something or whatever. I mean, he used to be on the Instance a lot. We used to have a whole lot of video game stuff going on all the time. He was on Brushwood and Veronica's short-lived Twit game show, touting their game back in the day. He used to be what I would refer to as a friend of the program. However, he has decided to go hard down political paths I vehemently disagree with. But as usual, in real life...
There were a couple of things that kind of necessitated a reduction of visibility in platforms like yours, up to and including a gigantic scandal with the video game company that he was currently plugging the game on.
Yeah.
And the financial fallout from that.
Yeah, is a mess.
And then, he decided that he was going to be a politics guy and wound up costing him his job at ESPN. And now I think he's primarily a politics guy. Like, I don't even know if he's professionally talking about baseball or sports at all.
No, I don't think there's any sports stuff anymore. I think it's all Breitbart articles, and he's got a podcast over there, and or I don't know what they call it over there. Maybe it's radio. I don't know what it is, but stuff like that. So he's definitely gone all in on that sort of thing. I mean, before all of this, even when we were talking to him back in the day, he was, certainly lean conservative. He was always backing, like in 2008, he backed McCain. Or wait,
McCain.
Yeah, McCain.
Yeah, you're right.
2012 backed Romney. He was, he's never been quiet about that stuff, but it's only been in recent years. I can't imagine why. He's decided to kind of go all in on that stuff, and
well, no, he got fired for being like Facebook posts, some like very very hard charging Facebook posts like before 2016.
Was that before that? I lose track of the timing on all this.
Yeah. No,
okay.
that was before 2016. But he was on. He was a top commentator because he was a very famous pitcher.
Yeah, it's just an odd thing for me. It's one of these experiences that I kind of wish everybody had, where a side of someone that is nothing like the public facing side he has now. And a part of that side still exists and still sort of resides within him, and what a contradiction it can feel like. It's a hard thing to explain, but it's so easy on social media and stuff to just two-dimensionalize all of this and just go, he's crazy and this and that and the other. But I know enough about him to know that I think a lot of this is him playing the system. I think a lot of this is him just taking advantage of the timing. My guess is, money hasn't been easy on his side of things since that company took a crash. He pretty much sunk all of his baseball money into it. And so what this probably means is he's got somebody willing to back him if he's going to truly run for Congress. I don't think he's just going to start with nothing. So I don't know about all that, but it's an odd life experience for me to know and sometimes still communicate on those levels with a guy who has decided to just go so far another direction. It's not as simple as just writing it off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, understand. We should understand something about politics, that you need to identify the people that are going to leave their house to vote for you.
Yeah.
And you need to speak to them, and oftentimes you have to do it kind of exclusively. Or if you're a media commentator, you need to identify your audience and you need to speak to them. It's literally the reason why I try to do my show the way I do it, is in a reaction to that, because I don't have a natural audience. And so I would rather kind of carve out my own lane, or at least make my audience something more removed than just like, all right, well, here are the battle lines, and now let's all do a pep rally about X, Y, or Z. But for Curt Schilling, look, he found a lane. He found the world is slowly or more quickly listing off course, and it's because of these reasons, and I'm going to attack these reasons, and I'm going to champion these values, and anybody who says differently is either wrong or actively hostile to a more beneficial union.
Right.
And that's who that dude is now. And like, now, does that make that the only part of him? No, because that's his job. The same way that we all kind of put on a character for to do our job, whether we be in sales or work in the counter at Hardee's or being a truck driver or doing something in the media like we are. You're always kind of shaving your personality down to the most optimized form. But you know, that's where we are. It definitely has to be, I think, complicated for you because you've also taken a lot more of a political stand over the intervening few years comparatively to what you were doing before.
Hi, like probably exponential numbers higher.
Yeah.
Like not I don't know, like you know, I'll hear from people who are really like the only time we really talk about politics on the show at all now is this segment with you. That's it. We don't do it any other time. So Brian and I are not sitting around on a Wednesday going, "Hey, politics." Right. We don't do it. But it's just a funny thing to think that I really dislike what he's doing and where he's going, and it pisses me off. Like shilling, that is. But I like getting his Christmas card every year. I like a quick chat. Like I remember when he, one of my kids was, I don't remember what the deal was. One of my kids got hurt. This was years ago. And he would, you know, he took time out of his life to call me and say, you know, how's Taylor or whatever it was. I think it was Taylor when she was having seizures. And he was just had, you know, I know that he has this piece of him that he reserves for, you know, some level of kindness and openness and all of that. Why he's chosen to obscure all that with this other stuff, I don't know, and maybe that's more of his true self than what I ever saw. But it's just a weird thing.
I would say from his point of view, he would probably say, "No, this is what I'm fighting for."
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm fighting for making sure that we check up on each other on Christmas and making sure that the bonds of good friendship are kept well, and really it's these other enemies of the eroding of that. I'm fighting for this world where more of that is the case and less of, you know, bleep blop bloop.
Right.
And so, I mean, again, look, everyone's the hero of their own story, and whether or not he'll be able to reinvent himself as a congressman, I haven't really taken a look at kind of the state of play in that race, because either it's going to be something where he now has a bit for his radio show for the next year and change, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, or whenever the primaries, I guess, to be, if he doesn't really have a shot, or this is the new thing. Is, you know, it's Mr. Schilling goes to Washington and he becomes a firebrand, you know, member of the government.
Right. I mean, it's also, there's a bit of an opportunity probably here that wouldn't exist inside regular norms. Like if you're going to get elected and have a history of really shitty behavior publicly, this might be the year to do it. Or, you know, like now would be the time, because that stuff's not only
I don't know. I don't really look. All politics is always local, and so it's like we can. I think if you're going to look at 2016 and trying to pick and choose the lessons, I don't know if a lot of the like, oh well, he did this, so now I can do this. I don't think a lot of that stuff translates.
Right.
You know, because, you know, even if you look at bombastic people or people that have ran like crazy ads or something like that, if you look at where they're running, then these are kind of things that play to where, you know, what people are excited about in these places, right? Or they're in battleground states that Trump won, right, for governors or senators or something like that. So running the Trump playbook in a statewide race where it was successful in that state makes a little bit of sense.
Right.
But I don't know. Look, I mean, Curt Schilling would not be the first famous person to run for office. I don't know whether or not that would mean he would be more or less bombastic. I would suspect you usually wind up becoming less compared to the media, right? Because there's no stakes in them. You can yell about whatever you want,
right?
You know, unless you're doing Baseball Tonight. In that case, you should probably watch what you put on Facebook, because you're going to get your ass fired for it.
Yeah. I mean, and he's also, I mean, the biggest roadblock he probably has is claiming these very, you know, these points of like, hey, government shouldn't pay for anything. Nobody should get any handouts, whatever. But his entire company history with that video game company, and what the money Rhode Island gave him was all about taking public money and then losing it, and the taxpayers being saddled with it. Like that is going to get weird. Like that'll get ugly for him. Now, whether it gets ugly for him in Arizona, I don't know. Also, I don't understand how it works if you live in Massachusetts and have for the last, I don't know, however long he's been there. Most of his career. Well, I mean, ever since he was with the Sox, he was there. So, and he hasn't moved.
I mean, I'm sure he had a residence when he was pitching for the Diamondbacks, though.
That's true. And he also was born and raised in Arizona. Yeah, he was raised in Arizona, so I don't know if that makes the difference. But kind of like Romney, where same state, funny enough, but Massachusetts is kind of where he made home. Before that, Michigan, I think. And yet here he is a Utah senator. So I don't know how that stuff works. It's weird to me.
Well, I mean, I know for Romney because he's like, the Mormon dude.
Disappointment?
Right? He's very popular amongst the Mormon community.
Oh, I thought you meant disappointment.
Mormon
yeah.
run for president.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced colossal disappointment is the way we say it around here.
I mean,
anyway,
not at the ballot box.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, and that's probably again his chances of any kind of political theater in Massachusetts, that being Schilling, is pretty low.
I still don't know. I don't know. We're gonna get back to this thing, but I still don't know what you want him to do.
Who?
Romney?
Yeah.
Because by and large, he does get up and say the thing. I don't know, aside from leaping over the Resolute desk and stabbing Trump in the heart with a Valerian steel blade. Like I don't quite know what the expectation is.
I don't know, something closer to McCain and less Flake, more McCain. That's kind of what we hoped for. Somebody willing to sort of stand up, vote differently, once in a while. What? And I know McCain wasn't. This isn't me holding up McCain as like he was some kind of shining example of this or anything. But there were moments certainly where McCain would make a stand, and it was in.
But also, McCain got destroyed too. It's not like McCain was a universally beloved person on the left. Of like, oh, finally, this is what true courage looks like.
No, I agree. And people on the left only liked him when it served them. I get that. I totally understand all that. I don't know, actually. Whenever you ask this question, I really don't know the answer. I don't know what I expect. I mean, right now I don't expect anything. But when he made a point going into that election win as senator to say, I'm going to be a check against this Trumpism
I
stuff.
actually just I don't know if there has been any big vote that would have been a major thing for him. Like,
I mean, there probably hasn't been. Yeah, legislatively, there really hasn't been, as far as I know. I mean, a lot of stuff just isn't getting.
So that's the big thing. Whenever we get into this, it's always like, because you always take the big unsolicited shots, right? It's not like I never start a conversation about Mitt Romney. You're the one who always starts lighting him on fire. And look, I have no care in the world for Mitt Romney. He can do whatever he wants. But this is a larger, broader thing that I don't quite know where that anger comes from, because it's not just you. It is widespread.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not even local. People are mad at Romney because they thought that he would, I don't know, whatever he was going to do, go in there and make more hay out of it.
But you were not a fan of him when he was running.
No, I actually had some hope for him when he was running. I like Romney.
No. I mean for Senate, not when.
No. I know. It's also for Senate. I thought, well, okay, that's better than what we have. I'll take this because at least he talks some talk, so maybe he'll go in there and make a difference. I don't know. I did have higher hopes for him when he was running for Senate, and then he got it, and then he put out that big statement heading in, and I went, all right, that's what we're looking for. We need somebody who's going to just stand up a little bit. And you're making the argument that he kind of has in some ways. Yeah, I guess so, verbally, the few times.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, but I don't know what. I mean, it's not like he gets to choose. All right, let's all call a vote on whether or not Trump's a penis. I vote yes.
No, I know. I don't have
things that eventually align, and now you wonder whether or not he is going to be a vote for or against something where towing the line is the thing to do.
Well, I guess my point is to answer your question. I don't know what he can or should or will do. I really don't know.
You're mad.
I know that whatever it is he's doing now is in my mind, doesn't do anything. There's no needles being pushed in any direction or the other. And by that, I just mean political needles. Like, Russian election interference is a big deal, and he is has always had a very adamant stand that we cannot, allow Russia and Soviet tactics to interfere with stuff like that or be, a thing like that. And he doesn't really say anything now. Like, he just sort of, all right, here we go, and let's do our thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that
on
question.
Twitter? Did you tweet that? Oh, well, okay. Dot, here we go. Dot.
No, you know what I mean. There's just a lack of, there's just nothing. So it's like everybody else. I don't know. Nobody's going to do anything, I guess. They're the party in charge. They don't want to lose power.
That's the thing. It's like, I think what some people want is for him. It's like when, some people want him to be like AOC. They want him to have AOC's Twitter and just like light the president on fire. Like, all the time, and literally whenever anything happens, and vote against anything and everything that the president says he will sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and I think that's kind of unrealistic, right? Because he did get elected from a red state as a conservative, and so there are going to be conservative things that please his voting base that he was voted that voted for him to go do, that Trump happens to also want to sign into law. So I don't know. It's not something that I have an answer to. It is something that I am fascinated.
Yeah, I just think if he could, do I want him to have AOC levels of screed? Probably not. Do I want him to speak up when I think stuff is obviously bad? Like when
he's spoken up in moments where you would expect a never Trump voice, a never Trump conservative voice to stand up. He's, tweeted appropriately.
Sure, but when he just
have a conversation about exactly how worthwhile that is, but I don't know what else you would do.
Well, let me give you an example. A couple of days ago or whatever it was.
Write a book?
Well, a couple
on TikTok.
Well, hold on. A couple of days ago, Trump retweets a conspiracy theory about the Clintons killed Epstein in jail. Say something, because that's bullshit. I'm not even saying defend the Clintons. I'm saying a sitting president accusing a former sitting president and or his political opponents of murder is probably something you can speak up about and not rattle your base. There are people here that would expect him to do that, and he doesn't, and no one does. No one in that party does. Now, if the chairs were flipped,
Rubio did. I saw that Rubio did.
Did he? Because it's hard to see between all of his scripture posts. It's really hard to find his tweets. I'll have to go look in there.
I mean, all right, come on.
Just a little extra shade on Rubio. All I'm saying, I'm answering you in the way that I think you want more out of me on this. I don't know what I want him to do.
No. I don't want more out of you, because I do think that it is just it's a visceral kind of response, and I think politics oftentimes does that to us. Right. But yeah, no, I don't know. I would actually be. I am kind of surprised. Now, granted, throughout this weekend, I was not checking Mitt Romney's Twitter on everything that he posted, but I do think that there were some. I remember reading a thing that Rubio took the let's watch the Russian bot traffic that is being very active right now in the wake of the Epstein thing, and let's understand that when the president is weighing in on these divisive topics, that we are emboldening literally the money that is being spent on those bots.
Right. And I guess that's good. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, you're the one who's upset about it, so I don't know what makes you happy or sad.
What makes me sad is that it doesn't feel like anything could or will be done unless this flipped to a.
What would you like to be done?
I don't know. I'd like it to all be over. I'd like us to be past.
Like what? Life?
No.
Drink.
I mean, here's what I'm looking forward to. I noticed MIT or somebody was saying they're almost 100% convinced that if things continue the way they are, that we will see a major recession in the mid-2020 year. And if we end up with a new president in 2020 that is not a write-in Republican replacement for Trump, then we're looking at 4 years of everybody blaming the new guy for the recession we're having, even though it has nothing to do with anything. And so I started to think to myself, this is just a perpetual like forever thing. Like it's just gonna go like this never gets any better. And so I had this long conversation with my daughter in the car yesterday when we were coming back from that wedding, and I think she has it. She reminded me of where my head sort of needs to be, which is local to the point that I am 100% focused on my family, my immediate group of influence, my friends, my fans, my listeners, my hosts, my co-hosts. That's just kind of where I need to be, or else I'm going to drive myself crazy, because I can just see that coming. And I also know how this will go. If it flips, we flip the power structure, and the executive branch is now led by Democrats again. They will all suddenly find all the moral backbone that they've been missing since 2016. They'll suddenly find it, and they'll be happy to apply it, and to, and that's that. I guess I'm coming to an understanding that that's the way this works, and I'm naive to think otherwise. And so it's time for me to back up that truck and focus on what I actually control.
Local.
Yeah, just control what I can control. Because honestly, I can't control
Think local,
much.
act global.
I guess. I don't know, even know if that's it. I just don't want to.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just
Global,
don't.
act local. I think it's really funny.
I just realized that it kind of doesn't matter. Like when you look at how much the national debt has grown in the last 2 years, and not one financial conservative hawk is saying a peep about it.
That's gone. That left in 2016.
It did.
Like, and not to say, and like even the talk was gone, because the action hasn't been there for a very long time. But like, even the talk of like, oh, we care about the national debt, that left in 2016.
Yeah, but it'll come back.
It just became tax and spend, but for my thing,
right?
I like
right.
My thing.
But that'll all come back in 2020.
Bad. My things are good.
Yeah, wait till 2020 though. All that talk will be back, and they'll pretend like it never left. So really looking forward to that. It's just a depressing bunch of shit. So
I mean, only if you expect things to happen. If you look at it as a a clown car, then you can make a whole brand out of it.
I mean,
things are going according to plan.
I mean, that's
look, all right, no, I do want to. I know this is just bait, and I'll take it.
I'm not baiting at all.
No, not you, the chat. It's particularly reductive to believe that a senator has no mouthpiece or no recourse of action in the public sphere. Romney is the same simpering coward he's always been, nothing more. Number one, you will not out-cynical me on politicians. So if you believe that what I'm saying is in any way that there is a moral backbone to to the world of politics, then I am not doing my job at effectively communicating. Yeah. I don't expect much of politicians. I really don't. I honestly think that we should have very, very low standards for them, and I think we should expect incremental change, because that is what they are capable of giving. They are there to not lose. They are not there to win. They are not there to be radical political tools. They are there to continue to be in power and to win elections. The measure of a politician is their record. It's by the time that you get to the national level, it's very rare, that you have like one of those journeyman boxers records of like, 12 wins, 11 losses. You normally have, maybe one loss, maybe two losses in your entire career, because that's what you're good at. You've made a skill of getting elected, pleasing the people that elected you enough that you can move up to a larger group of people and try to get them to elect. So I'm not saying that they have no recourse. Now, I think that there is a more realistic question on exactly what the extent of that is, and my question to everybody, because everybody's line is different. I'm not saying that there is this Mendoza line of like, okay, past this, you are a hero, and lower than this, you are a coward. Although, again, in general, I don't find much backbone in politicians. But like, I think that there is a reasonable, definable question of, okay, well then what do you want out of the people that you support? What would be happy for you? What would make you happy if your political opposition did X, Y, and Z? Beyond just like, evaporating into dust and blowing into a beautiful sunset. Like, realistically, if you want, if that is what you're looking for, then what is that? And, you know, I don't know. I just find those kind of questions fascinating. But if you think me asking the questions is tantamount to me saying, oh my God, look how brave and bold Mitt Romney is, then I would like to disabuse you of that notion.
Yeah, no, I fully copping to this idea that I need to, growing up and even in my adult life, when people would say they stood for a certain thing or believed a certain thing or whatever, I would believe them. Like, I would believe them because I thought that's kind of the default stance, is that people were believable. And if I've learned anything in the last couple of years, it's that that's just straight up not the case. Like, it's just not the way it works. So I know that what I'm saying is I know that most of this is just me and a realignment with my expectations of people claiming something. If they claim a thing, I need to less willing to take it on face value that they are saying what they mean and meaning what they say, or walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And I don't know who to blame that on, other than me and, you know, my unwillingness to push my naivete out of the way and make room for it. So that's kind of
well. I mean, look, we are in a very politically fractious age, and I think the question now is, you know, what we do with it. We all got really dialed in for way longer than we normally do. Like, way longer than we normally do, and we're about to go through the hard part again. Like, now, like we worked. You know, what I was joking about before, you know, back in 2018 after the midterms, was like, you know, just because we decided that we were going to work through winter vacation doesn't mean that we don't still have work on Monday. And so that's what we did. Like, we normally have a downtime where we can all regroup and remind ourselves and each other of, like, oh, you want to know what? Sure, I hate all Republicans, but I like Greg. Or sure, I hate all liberals, but I love Susan. Like, you know, we have some of those moments. We had none of those moments now. Now it was like, I'm unfriending Greg and I'm unfriending Susan because they're ruining the country because they support this, that, or the other. Or, like, you know, you support Trump and you're the worst. Or you're you have TDS, FU. Right. Like, that's just what we did, and that's not neither good or bad. Like, I would never deny somebody's passion, but it is a reality of where we are right now, and now we're about to get up to the high point again. So will we decide to handle it different? Will it get worse? Like, are we going to find new levels of division? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, look, I kind of like the clown car approach, and you do that really well. So if people want to see all of this through the lens of not my emotional reaction to it all or somebody else's visceral one, I think Jury's the one to follow and watch and listen to, because he kind of looks at it from all angles. Everybody gets sort of equal treatment. If you come away from his podcast,
and again, and let me just say, like, if we're going to get into my capital B brand, like, my point is, I want to know who's winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my only bias in any and all of this is I want to know who's winning, not who's right, not who's righteous. I want to know who's winning, because I'm not going to ever be able to tell you as a viewer or a listener who is right and who is righteous, because, to be totally honest, I find it disgusting that the majority of our political discourse is gaslight theater, where everybody is just fed their own confirmation bias back in a feed loop, and everybody leaves fat and happy on that concept. Like, that's something that I have no interest in. And every time that I've ever talked to anybody, close friends, smart people, about, oh, I want to kind of get into politics, the first thing that they tell me is pick a side. Pick a side, and then understand who that audience is, and then do your version to that side. You can't do this. You can't do what I'm doing right now, because nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the thing that's going to piss off half your audience all the time. You want the thing that's going to please your audience 100% of the time. And eventually, the only reason why I started politics was to sell contenders. Like, I literally was just doing it because I had a card game, and I figured, hell, this is another thing that I can advertise on. And then, for whatever reason, I found an audience, and I'm very, very proud of the community that we have built. But do not get it twisted. This is not about me trying to find the center. This is not about me trying to show and bring humanity out of every other element, because, to be quite honest, I don't care about the humanity in every element. I honestly don't. Here's what I care about. I care about letting you know, based on the way I'm looking at things, who's winning and who's losing, and what you can do to reverse course if you are on the bad side. That's it. That's all I am looking to do. There is no greater truth that I am looking for. There is no magical center that I'm trying to stand in the middle of. If I play devil's advocate, or it sounds like I'm making a devil's advocate argument, it is only in trying for me to analyze things that I might not fully understand, or I am seeking more understanding on, because the trends are the trends, the numbers are the number.
All right, I think that's you spelled out why I think your stuff is good, and for people who want to take that as Justin doesn't care about issues that affect people, I think you're not listening. Like what PX3 is for. I mean, I don't need to defend it, but what it's for is not to tell you what's right or wrong. It's to give you the score and talk about strategies and why things are going the way they're going. Which and by going and things, I mean, like, why did the debates go this way, or how come so and so's up in the polls, or what should the other side do to counter that, or where are they screwing up?
Look, Biden had a really bad debate and then a middling debate, and has since then, over the weekend, dropped 3 beauty gaffes. He said that
white kids are just, or no, poor kids are just as smart as white kids, he said. Or something like that.
and then 2 more that were just beauties.
Wow.
But yet, his polls have totally recovered from the first debate, and we'll see what happens past this. But I would not expect his poll numbers to move. Why? Because he's the most moderate in a fairly progressive field. So whether or not you believe that the causes from Bernie and Elizabeth Warren are true and should absolutely happen, they're certainly far more mainstream than they were before. There is certainly statistical evidence, at least by my analysis, to say that there are a lot of Democratic voters that would prefer a more moderate option. This is not me saying that Bernie and Warren can't win. In fact, I've still picked Bernie to win. That was my pick before anything started. I'm going to stick with it until it is wrong. That being said, like, you have to understand these trends, or else you are I think not taking the fuller context of what this race really is.
Right.
At least that's my opinion.
All right. Well, if you want more of this, PX3, that's the thing. Anything else you want to mention before we go today? Any other cool things going on?
Austin, Texas, Tuesday before Labor Day. Brian and I are doing a Night Attack show at the Out of Bounds Comedy Festival.
Oh, I heard Tom's going to this, right? Or something?
Tom is coming out for it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a great show. It's at the Hideout Theater downstairs, 8:30 to 10 p.m. These tickets are cheap, folks. $10, and you get not only a live Night Attack, but also 2 awesome stand-up comedians, Clara Blackstone and Kai Krebs. So come out and see the show. It is going to be an absolute blast. And fun fact, that exact theater, almost 20 years ago, was the first theater that a young magician, Brian Brushwood, decided that was going to be the first theater that he rented out to do his show. That literal room. And almost 2 decades later, we're going to be part of a comedy fest.
That's awesome. I've seen video of that
Cool.
that day somewhere. Somebody's got something on YouTube or something where you see a baby-faced Brian Brushwood pulling shit out of a hat or something. I don't remember what it was. Doing something good, but
no, he definitely, that was Brian, very, very skinny, and his pants were very high. Brian footage. He's waifishly thin, and his pants are up to his nipples.
That sounds amazing. Justin Robert Young, Justin R. Young on Twitter, everybody. So follow him there if you have grievances or love to shower on him. Either way, he's there for you. Justin, have a great week.
Light
Talk
me
to you
up.
later. Bye. Light them up. Oh, I shouldn't say that out loud because that's what my Echo does when
Is
I turn
that
on all the
your,
lights.
Yeah, you didn't say your Echo Show's
Oh,
name.
right. Let's see if it works. Hold on. Lights out.
Blast, blast, blast.
Oh, it didn't
Lights.
work. Cancel.
No, but it froze your camera for me.
Oh,
I
it
don't know
did?
why it did that. Well, now it's back to normal.
Oh.
Oh, maybe you were just sitting really still when you were looking back there.
I think I was just being. I think I was holding really still. Is that what that was?
Wow.
All right. A thing we missed yesterday, yesterday, because we didn't have a show. We usually do a mashup from Jamie, and so we're gonna do one now. So open your hearts and your minds and listen to what Jamie had to say. So here's the thing: he goes and he finds dumb stuff we say during the week, and then he makes a little mashup out of it.
And we say a lot of it too.
Yeah, and we rarely remember it, but today we'll be reminded. This is called My Orca. Here it is.
I'll get you, Spider-Man.
We've got a new alien race that only attacks people's feet. We must take all of our shoes off and walk around the Enterprise barefoot.
Your feet have no honor. Sit down, Sam.
Sit down, Sam. I'm gonna catch that darn rabbit.
Wander into town, pulling out his guns.
Should have been gone.
Should have been gone.
Where'd you feel? I should have been gone. After all this. I've got a big old kitty. Hello, big old kitty.
Hello, kitty. You big old kitty.
You big old kitty.
Ernie, you always leave one square of toilet paper on the roll. And
Ernie, shut the door, Ernie.
Tell me what you've got there. I want to put it on my body.
Does yours throb? Mine's throbbing.
Yeah, mine's totally throbbing.
I have a boner. My car's cool, and that girl's sure pretty. And let's go to school.
Charlie says.
I'm a piece of shit.
Grandpa Scott, what did Valley Girls sound like? Well, I have a song that I can play for you,
over
Ben.
here is her name was Moon Unit. And her dad was famous for music, but she was shitty then and now.
I think these would work better straight, eh?
Hey, what do you think about that? I gotta take a wicked piss. So I was listening to.
Sundown, you better take care of the pan, you the monkey.
This doesn't sound like a scrotum problem.
My old dog Spot.
Nice
I wrote a poem about my dog. You want to hear it? Want to hear how?
James Gilbert Quartang of Palma de Mallorca, Spain. I'm getting none of these
Palma
names.
de Mallorca.
Thank
It's
you.
Mallorca.
Mallorca. Yeah, that's what you say. It's when you're at SeaWorld and the big whale dies, you go, Mallorca!
Mallorca!
What has happened to
Passed
Mallorca?
away.
That's a good one, Jamie.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
the
nice work.
disarray of the two of us trying to sync up with lag and sing a song together is the standout. from
Oh
that,
yeah, always. We get I love it when a song will come up and then we try to sing it at the same time. Actually, it's probably more on me because they're hearing my feed, so I have to be better about matching it up. But yeah,
You have to somehow sing along with me by waiting a millisecond to sing along with me or something. Yeah. Sure. That'll I can't see how that would not
I'm
work.
sure it'll work 100% of the time, all the time. That's for sure. All right. Here's what else is for sure. The show is over. That means that we'll be back tomorrow. We got more to do then. For those asking where Skim went, it is happening tonight. We're going to do it with our recently married guests here at the house and record a little something for that. So that did not.
It'll be a skimming company.
Indeed.
Skimming friends.
Everything from yesterday got bumped. It just happened because of the wedding. So if you want that, you'll get that tonight. You want Boop Show with Brian Dunaway. That'll happen today at 3:30. There is no Current Geek because Tom is on his way to his trip. And I think that's everything. Oh, and there's no way I'm going to get Frog Pants Plays in today. I have too much to do and clean up.
Oh, yeah.
It's not gonna
come
happen.
on now. Come on. Be reasonable, people.
No video games for
He's
me
not
today.
a machine.
No, I can't play video games for your enjoyment. Although I'm in this part of the scary game that I've been playing through where I'm stuck in a room and I can't get out. So I still got to figure that out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
I think it's a bug because I can't find a way out. Like literally stuck in this place. The door's shut. Everything's locked. I've looked every corner, crevice, hole, up and down, all around. There's nothing in there.
Hold the lever. I've read the note 5 times. I've checked the...
Basically, it's just a big mess. But anyway, just keep your eye on the calendar. Gene, you just put a link in the chat room. If you're looking for that, you can go to frogpants.com/podcast. Also, don't forget to support us over at patreon.com/TMS. And if you're looking for that and everything else that we have linked to and do, that's over at frogpants.com/TMS. All right, we should play a song. Do you have one? What are we doing?
I do. This is one that was going to be on tap for Thursday, but we're pulling it out today. Nancy wrote in, says, "Hi, sexy and beautiful. Since you asked, can I request a birthday song? I'm just getting home from work, and today's my birthday, August 8th. I don't have a song in mind, but luckily, I believe in Brian's song-picking ability. I guess I could give you a few prompts if you like." And Nancy mentioned Tool. Tool just came back with a brand new album that comes with a video screen or something. We talked about it last week or the week before. Brand new Tool album. How about we haven't done a chip tune in a while. This is from The Hunt for Yoshi is the name of the band. They put out an album in 2006 called Nintendo Goes 90s, where they make 90s songs. Rock songs sound like they're being played on a Super Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
This is their version of Tool's Anima. Anima. Your pronunciation may vary.
Yeah.
AENIMA. That's the song, not the thing that goes up your butt. Here is The Hunt for Yoshi covering Tool. We'll see you tomorrow.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Duct tape is a tool.
I see. I made a Tool reference there at the end.
You pulled out a little Tool.
Yeah, pulled out my Tool.
That was purely unintentional and probably too late for Jamie to do anything.
Yeah, I paused, or I don't. Well, the video.